Never before have we seen a Calgary Flames team that is so difficult to predict. With their season officially opening tonight, the Flames have some massive questions to answer. Plus, make sure you stay to the end because I'm going to give my bold predictions as part of this 2024-25 Calgary Flames NHL Regular Season Preview. Let's get excited. Strap in for an exciting year of hockey. Go Flames, go. Welcome to Flames Digest. I am Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. And we're going to start with these big questions. They don't come from me, they come from an article, of course. But before we get into the article itself, we need to take a look at what the lines are looking like going into the season as we know the final roster, of course. So Pat Steinberg said that the Flames, in their final practice before Wednesday's season opener, looked like this. This is from yesterday, of course, but they look like this. So a top line of Honzik on the top line. Wow, congrats to him. Kadri and Kuzmenko. What an exciting line that is. They should be all over the ice. Zary, Backlund, and Coleman on the second line. Zary being that Mandrapani replacement. That looks very, very good as well. A third line of Huberdeau, Pospisil, and Mantha. That is a really good third line. Hopefully Huberdeau can get it going with Pospisil and Mantha. And then Lomberg, Rooney, and Klapka to make a brilliant fourth line with Coronado as the extra in the press box. You look at the defenseman, Weegar, Miramanov as that top D pairing. Ball and Andersson should be great. Ball giving Andersson a chance to pinch a little more maybe. Bean and Pahal with Hanley and Barry being the extras. And then Vladar as the number one with Wolf as an extra. I don't know for sure at the time of recording who is confirmed to be the starter. But of course, tonight's game goes at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Should be so fun in Vancouver. There's no section saying here's tonight's game. But drop down below what your score predictions are for tonight's season opener. I'm going to go with a 4-3 OT win for the Flames. But let's get into these big questions here. So here's the article. It comes from Kent Wilson of the Calgary Herald. He writes, the Flames' big question marks heading into this season. So the rookies, the goalies, and more as a little spicy spoiler there. But first question, can Dustin Wolf become an NHL starter? And I think the key word here is can. So the last time the Flames organization drafted and developed a starting goalie was Trevor Kidd. We all know how that one went. And before that, it was Mike Vernon, which actually went a lot better. Wolf is the organization's best bet to beat their net-minding slump, since essentially Markstrom was really, really good, but essentially since Kiprusoff is what they're alluding to here. An all-star and MVP-level puck stopper at the CHL and AHL levels, the 23-year-old would be a no-doubt blue-chip prospect if he was about 4 inches taller. And he would no doubt become an NHL starter if he was 4 inches taller. So the question here, can Dustin Wolf become an NHL starter? The answer is yes, and we can answer these questions in this video, but more so they will be answered throughout the regular season. That's what the season's all about. We're previewing what questions the Flames can answer during the season. So can Wolf become an NHL starter? Well, it's only up to Dustin Wolf really to prove that to us. Can he? Yes. Will he? I don't know. That's another question there. Next question. Which of the Flames rookies will surprise? So last year, obviously, a couple rookies did surprise, and it wasn't the ones you thought would be. So Coronado got, that starting opening night roster spot and didn't do well. He didn't surprise in a good way. Pelche got hurt and then came up, I think eventually in January, and it just wasn't quite good enough. But the ones that did surprise in a good way were Connor Zary and Martin Pospisil, being that good that fast, especially for Zary. It was great that they stuck with the team pretty much the rest of the season since they came up. So who can that kind of be this season? Well, thanks to Craig Conroy's restraint in free agency, there should be as much or more opportunity for dark horse hopefuls to establish themselves this year. An early list of intriguing names includes Matthew Coronado. Don't really know how he's a rookie still, but whatever. Samuel Honzik for sure, Jeremy Poirier, Artem Grushnikov, and Sam Morton, among others. Honzik is the biggest surprise so far, but that's of course before the season starts. The 16th overall pick in 2023, Honzik suffered through a disappointing injury-plagued season in the dub, where he managed just 31 points in 33 games. Well, he's way better in NHL preseason, I'll tell you that for free. For most 19-year-olds, that would spell another season in junior to grow and improve. Instead, the 6'4" left winger was one of the biggest performers in Calgary's preseason, securing him a spot on the opening day roster. So at this point, would it even be that he would be a surprise if he did that good this season? I'm more so on the dark horse of a Sam Morton. He's not yet a household name for Flames fans. I know viewers of this channel know who he is, and diehard Flames fans, of course, do, but he's not a household name yet. He really could be, the Connor Zary or Martin Pospisil of this year, which could be very, very exciting. Very exciting. I think that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Any of these guys would be fantastic, but I think Sam Morton would be the most likely to be a surprise. But again, we'll let these guys answer the questions through their play. Next question, do any more of the Flames veterans get traded? While most of the club's marquee veterans have walked the plank, Conroy still possesses more than a few players who could attract interest on the trade market, depending on the appetite for the team and the player to maintain the relationship. Top of the list is Andrei Kuzmenko. I don't know if I fully agree with that. I mean, I would argue Anthony Mantha is probably the top of that list. He was kind of signed for that reason, but who knows? If he plays really well with Huberdeau, then they'll want to keep him so that Huberdeau continues to play well. But either way, Kuzmenko definitely up there as well. Mantha, of course, we've talked about Coleman and Kadri as vets, Rasmus Andersson as well, so there's a chance, but I think top of the list, Kuzmenko, agree with that, as well as Mantha for sure. The 28-year-old right winger was considered a cap dump by the Canucks as part of the Lindholm trade, but he exploded for 24 points in 28 games once he arrived in Calgary. So he could be very valuable in a trade. We'll just have to wait and see again, of course, and it will be performance-based to kind of see how these guys do and where the Flames are as a team. If they're really bad, of course, they'll ship out the vets, but if they're doing good, they will keep them around, and who knows if any of the Flames veterans do end up getting traded. Next question and final question, what happens to Jacob Pelletier? So Jacob Pelletier scored 27 goals and 62 points in just 66 games as a 20-year-old rookie in the AHL back in 2021-22, which is a long time ago now. That seems like forever ago. Only veteran Matthew Phillips outscored Pelletier on the club's farm team that year. So Pelletier was so good, but it just hasn't quite gone to plan. It's been a rocky road for the left winger ever since. Chosen 26th overall in 2019, Pelletier suffered a terrible shoulder injury during preseason last year and then was hurt again upon his return months later. He appeared in just 13 rather tentative NHL games. The 23-year-old did not stand out during the preseason action and was sent down through waivers to the Wranglers. He, of course, was not claimed. So even other teams have kind of, latched onto the fact that maybe he isn't the prospect he once was. At this point, it's fair to say that Pelletier will need to find a way to reestablish himself as a prospect of note with the Flames system. Otherwise, he risks being surpassed by the club's new wave of draft picks and honestly just kind of becomes trade bait at that point, but we'll have to see. Obviously, we wish him the best and hope he can be the player that we expected him to be, 3 years ago when he was unreal in the AHL. Just hasn't quite gone to plan. But all these guys, again, it will be performance-based. They're going to answer those questions, but feel free to answer the questions down below in the comments as well. And, speaking of the comments, you guys can also comment on this and comment your own bold predictions. But let's get into that. And yes, I'm going to bring in my own predictions this time around. Usually, I just kind of look at other people's content and we discuss it as a community, but here I'm going to just go on my own thing here. And no, I won't go as bold to say, either end, saying, look, the Flames are going to win the Stanley Cup this year, or the Flames are going to finish dead last in the league and get the first overall pick. I won't even do a record prediction either, because that's just so difficult with this team. It could be anywhere between 70 to 90 points, really, it seems. Maybe lower, maybe higher, who knows, but I won't say any of that. These are more so just some different ones that could be interesting. So what are my bold predictions for this upcoming season that starts tonight? Well, first of all, Samuel Honzek will win the Calder Memorial Trophy. Yes, I know I'm piggybacking off of the hype around his preseason and his training camp, but look, he has a phenomenal he's got such a phenomenal opportunity here to put up great points. If he's on a top line, look, he's with veterans, Kadri and Kuzmenko. Kuzmenko can score, so Honzek can definitely get those assists. Kadri does a bit of both, and Honzek does a bit of both. He could stat pad like crazy and easily lead him to the Calder Memorial Trophy. There's other players in the league that obviously will be going for that and are very good, but Honzek, that's the first bold prediction. He will win the Calder Rookie of the Year. Next one, Jonathan Huberdeau leads the team in points with 85. I know that's a little bit ridiculous. Over a point per game, I'm saying Huberdeau is this year to lead the team. Yes, this might be the boldest one of them all because, I mean, really we'll be happy if he gets to about 60 points. But as a super bold prediction, I'm saying he gets to 85 this year. Mantha really helps him out. Pospisil gets things going. He's figures it out on the power play a little more and just gains that confidence and then gains the points. He becomes the player we thought he would be. Huberdeau, 85 points. Here's my last bold prediction for the year. Rasmus Andersson is the first Flame traded, and it happens before 2025. Yes, we spoke about it a little bit earlier in the video saying that, you know, Mantha's probably the top of the trade list as well as Kuzmenko, but I don't know. A bold prediction here is that Andersson is the first to go. If the Flames don't play all that well, he will want out. He's very valuable, and the Flames could do an Elias Lindholm style trade. I know he isn't a pending UFA this year, but still has a lot of value. A contender could want him, and I just think, you know, like Conroy said, depending on how the player feels, they could definitely get rid of him. So there you go. There are my 3 bold predictions for this season. Please drop down below what your bold predictions are for the season as well. Let's wrap up this video with the comment of the day, as we love to do. This one comes from yesterday's video about, you know, kind of finalizing the roster there. And here's a prediction that I would love to see in the comments down below. A prediction like this. So we've got Todd, and Todd says, I see the results being very similar to last year. Not as good on defense and in goal. Better on offense. We finished with 81 points and 9th worst last year. This year I predict roughly 77 points and probably finishing 7th or 8th worst. We will still finish ahead of San Jose, Chicago, Anaheim, Columbus, Seattle, Philadelphia, and possibly LA and Pittsburgh. Write it down, lol. Everyone, write it down. He's saying it here first. Either way, it will actually be fun to watch. Great video as always. Thank you so much. But yes, it should be an exciting year no matter how good or bad the Flames are. At least it should be an exciting brand of hockey. Expect a lot of, 6-5 games. I would love to see a lot of those. But can't wait for the season to start. I know you will all be watching tonight. I'll be watching as well. The best we can say together is a big go Flames go. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe like we saw here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.